Go live. Let's check the stream is up. Stream health is excellent, apparently. Alright, let's drop the link in the Discord. So I was just about to start a regular stream, and then somebody in the Discord, who was it? Sideswipe, helpfully posted on that's the 30th anniversary of Twister today. And as a massive Twister fan, I don't know how I didn't realize that. So what I may do is start the stream off with some Twister trivia. Just a little bit, just the next 3 or 4 minutes. And I think one of the things, I guess, one of my unique contributions, as well as other massive fans of the movie, is tracking down some of the locations. So I spent quite a while on one of my last streams going into massive detail on the locations. Let me just not, let's try not dox myself here and pull up Pilot Mound. So I'll just show some of the key scenes. Let's just make sure that Streamlabs is actually capturing the window. Yeah, it's capturing the my screen and not just a single window. So Pilot Mound, you may recognize this map. It's from the 2023 version of Tornado Research and Rescue. Where Pilot Mound is where oh, I can't remember what it was called now. I did create Pilot Hill, but I think I placed that over here. I think I turned this area here, which is empty, into an actual town. But anyway, so you got Twister Hill. This one's easy to find because you can just Google it. So in the scene where they're going up Hailstorm Hill and the F3 is kind of like touching down and jump back up into the clouds and jumping down, they drove down here and then they turn left along here. And you'll probably recognize it when I drop here. So they're driving up this hill, and it's somewhere along here that the power lines tip onto the back of the ram and knock Dorothy over and all the sensors go flying. But I'm curious actually, were there ever actually power lines lining along here? Oh yeah, there used to be. Looks like they've been removed since then. Yeah, somewhere between 2009 and 2013 they were removed. So that's Twister Hill. Let's just go tornado by tornado. So that's the F3. The F1 is in that's Wolf Road in Oklahoma. So they come around the corner and oh, no, I don't want to fix an address. No, discard. That's not what I want to do. I want to drop this little guy on here. So you see, you kind of have the close-up of the Jeep logo on the back of the truck, and they come around the corner. And as they come around this corner, they have, I can't remember which truck it is coming the other way, beeping at them. And the camera kind of pans up, and you see the first F1 tornado over here. They then continue to drive further down this road, and they then go into the ditch. I don't know why that suddenly jumped back to 2009. Oh, this was just last month, this imagery. So somewhere along here, so they actually built the ditch for the movie. So somewhere along here, they actually built a ditch. They went into the ditch because you see them go through a line of trees. They go through a line of trees, and then you see the CGI barn, which gets hit by the tornado. It's placed somewhere along here. CGI barn gets hit. They continue along here, and they crash into the bridge, which I believe used to be here. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's part of the bridge, but there are people I know who've videoed themselves visiting this location, and they still have, at least when it was, I think it was about 25 years ago. This was back in around early 2020, 2022, somewhere around then. People did actually go down here, and there are actually still remnants, or at least there were, I don't know if there still are, of the wooden stumps. No, they grab onto the wooden bridge and hold on while the tornado goes over. And there's still remnants of that. I think somebody chipped some pieces off and kept them as keepsakes. You'll see in the movie, you'll see that pond in the background. Then when the Jeep falls out the air, you'll see this tree as well. So this is where they built the bridge, they built the ditch, and then I think it was a polystyrene tractor, which they used for that. There's a lot of minor scenes around here. I won't go. I'll just go tornado by tornado. So then the F2. I don't think we've got street view for this one. Let's see where how close we can get street view. The closest we can get is here, but it's actually this road here. So Bill's crew are driving down here, and then the camera pans around, and then you see Jonas's crew up ahead, and you see the F2 tornado dancing off over the hills somewhere over here. Uh, then Bill slams his foot on the brake, and he kind of reverses back and takes another route. I forget exactly where, but I think it's Adams Road here. They take this route here, then Jonas looks through his binoculars, and then Eddie says it looks like they're going to intercept. That was all around here. You then have probably one of the most famous scenes. You've got Call Lake here, and let me remember which one it is actually. It's Ferguson Avenue. So it's this one here where they drive over the lake, and then you've got the probably the most famous scene, cow scene. So they're driving along here. They've actually made it a bit safer. There's like barriers on the side of the road now, so you can't just drive off the edge like you could back when they were filming it in the 90s. Yeah, this is where they filmed the cow scene. I just showed the F3 scene. Uh, the drive-in twister scene, where is that? Where is that? Um, Oklahoma. The name of the place is escaping me. Let's just type in Oklahoma. Apologies, I feel like I'm about to sneeze. There we go. The name's evading me. Let's see. There's lots of minor places around here, but I won't go into every scene. I'll just go over all the main tornado scenes. Um, the drive-in, the drive-in. What's it called again? I have to look at my Twister filming locations map there. I forget what it's called. Oh, it's Guthrie. It's the other side of the railway lines. Okay. Yeah, so you had there's some railway line, and then it was the other side of the railway line. Might need to zoom in on here just to remind myself. Oh, it was here. It was around here. My instinct was right. The first place I zoomed in actually was where it was. Um, yeah, I don't know if we've got Street View around here. Oh, yeah, we do. Oh, Galaxy Drive-In movie theater. Yeah, so somebody's actually added it. So you'll notice. So obviously it's all derelict now. So you'll see those silos when the camera pans around to Joe, and with the F4 tornado with the drive-in. This building had a whole facade on it. You'll see that in the background. I think the actual screen was built somewhere up here. Uh, yeah, so this is where the F4 and then the F5 scene. That's actually spread over a lot of different locations, but the main ones, your first view of it is just outside of Cambridge, Iowa. So it's coming down this road or going up this road, I think, actually. So the first view where like the camera kind of pans down and uh, you got the Ram with two Dorothys on the back, the that big F5, the very first view you see of the F5, it's just after the scene where they're building the sensors. That's over here. Uh, a little bit further up is the tanker scene. So they drop the tanker somewhere over here, I think it was. It explodes. I won't go over every single one, but they eventually end up in Hickory Grove Park is where the tractors and combine harvesters start falling out the sky along here, and then they finally end in, is it pronounced Eldora, Iowa? So let me just zoom out a bit. There it is. So this is actually in the wrong place. So if you search Twister Movie House, it comes up here. It's actually further south. It's actually this one here. I don't think there's Street View here yet. No, no Street View yet. Uh, but I think some of the barns are still here. Like the house is still there. Um, one of the barns is there. And when the camera pans out at the end of the movie, you kind of have this view here, and then there's kind of like you kind of see the path that the tornado's taken and where they've driven it through the corn. So it ultimately ends there. So yeah, just thought, I do. Hello Neon. I just thought it's the 30th anniversary of Twister. I'll give a very quick overview of the locations. What I'll do actually, How do I share this map? Share. Um, yeah, I'll drop this in the chat. I don't know if this gets recorded, if the chat gets recorded and you can watch the replay or not, but if you can, I'll drop it in there. Um, if you're curious to see, there's a lot more like minor details, B-roll. Uh, there's even one scene off in Texas somewhere. Uh, and speaking of Texas, actually, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. I did see they enhanced the tornado risk today. So I think the main risk is wind and hail in the yes, what's that? Central Texas. The tornado risk has been bumped up from 2% to 5%. So what's that from marginal to low? I forget what the names of each of the categories are. It's usually just use the numbers. So if you are anywhere in these risk areas, please have a way of getting weather alerts. I say it doesn't have to be a deadly tornado to absolutely ruin your day. Like say you could leave a car outside, um, or just get caught out in some way, torrential rain, flash flooding. It doesn't have to be deadly or life threatening to ruin your day. So just take any precautions now. I don't want to be a distraction to anybody who might be in these areas and when you should be paying attention to the weather. So let's um let's jump into the actual game. Thank you, nothing like last week. Crazy tornadoes in Mississippi. Yeah, I didn't really do a good job keeping up to date with what was happening there. I have seen some videos come up, but just because of the time difference, unless it happens to be a particularly early start to the tornadoes kicking off, it's most tornadoes peak. So say 5 or 6 p.m. Central, you're talking like, what's that? So say 7 p.m. Central, what's that? Like 6 hours difference? Let's see, what's the time in Oklahoma right now? Time in Oklahoma. So that's so it's 2:47 right now, and it's 8:47. So yeah, 6 hours difference. So let's say Sony's even kick off at 5 p.m. That's 11 p.m. that it's starting, and that's by the time I'm going to bed anyway. So it's really difficult for me to follow along live. I do have a recording on my phone. I should probably upload it. I was following live with the rolling fork tornado, and then on the screen of my phone, you've got both the radar Omega with like the velocity view, I think it is, and I forget who it was now. I don't want to credit the wrong person, but they're live streaming they come across from Rolling Fork after it's just been impacted. I've got the record. I probably should upload that for like historical reasons. But excuse me 1 minute. I just need to go blow my nose. I'm a bit sniffly after the big sneeze. Also, I'll just mention I may get interrupted a couple of times during the stream. I've got one daughter who's struggling to fall asleep and another daughter who isn't very well right now, so I may need to go on daddy duty a few times during the stream, but I'll keep interruptions to a minimum, so I'll try not to go off topic and introduce my own interruptions, but obviously if they're not well, I'll have to pause the stream for a bit. So yeah, let's continue on from career mode. There's some new things now. I think I'll keep hunts enabled. We've got 4 skips. I think one of the most useful things I've added is um, the Cape and SRH readouts. So before there was no scale or key, and you kind of had to eyeball it. And even me myself being a developer, I'm still colorblind and misread the misread the map a few times. So it's useful to know. So this actually looks like a very decent chase. 2,000 to 4,000 joules per kilogram of Cape with SRH in the 200 to 380 range. So let's just calculate that. I said I won't go off on tangents, but let's calculate the EHI of that. So that's 3927 multiplied by 380. I think the constant is 160,000. So that's an EHI of 9.32. So search EHI formula Cape SRH. Yeah, it is over 160,000. So EHI scale. Let's see if we've got some sort of, not the Edinburgh handedness inventory, whatever that is. EHI scale tornadoes. No, I was thinking about the enhanced Vegeta scale. Let's ask. let's ask Gemini. Google Gemini, how high is an energy helicity index of 9? Energy helicity index is considered extremely high and represents an atmospheric environment with very high potential for producing strong to violent long-lived tornadoes. Okay, there we go. That's what we're going to be chasing on the high end of things, is a 9. And on the low end of things, so that would be 2120, multiply that by 206 over 160,000. Whoop. Let's do that again. 2120 times by 206 divided by 160,000, 2.7. So let's ask Gemini again. Was it 2.7? High and significant, indicating a favorable environment for supercells and strong tornadoes. Yeah, so it's from strong to extreme. So both good things we want to see for a fun stream. It feels very flat. The mountains do help, but have you considered adding slight elevation changes? Yes, so what I'm thinking of doing, so all of these are tiles, right? And the way the game works, the way I try and keep the frame rate up, is obviously I don't load in the entire map all at once. What I do is I load in the tile that you're on. Actually, perfect. If you have a numpad, look at your numpad. The 5 key is the tile that you're currently on, and then the 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 8, 7, 4 keys are all the tiles around. So I load the tile that you're on plus the 8 tiles around. And then as you move across the map, it unloads some tiles and loads in others. What I'm thinking of is that I can either add some random elevations to the tiles surrounding you, or outside of that range, I've just kind of got like a generic flat terrain tile which just takes up the whole map, and I could add random elevations to that. Then as you move along, you can imagine the bit that you're on constantly getting flattened and then new mountains appearing where you just were. So you've kind of got things off in the distance, but I know what you mean by it being very flat, and that is something I've been wanting to address for a while. I've just been trying to figure out the best way to do that. Hello, Storm Fury Weather. Yeah, thanks for joining. Yeah, it looks to be a good chase. No need to use any of my skips. So other things I've added, probably the biggest one is dust and mist. So this is based on the wind speed. So if you've got, I think it kicks in around 60 miles per hour and maxes out at around 100 miles an hour. If you're in a dry area, so there's no precipitation, you'll kind of kick up dust. And if it's raining, yeah, this isn't the ideal place to start off, is it? Let's head east. We'll go over this mountain and I guess we'll just start at this town. If it's more moist, if there's a lot of precipitation, it'll start kicking up white mist. So if you watch some tornado videos, you'll see like a white mist coming up off the road if the winds are strong enough. So you kind of have both of those added. I've also been optimizing the trailer parks. So I recorded a video, it's on the Discord, of me chasing a tornado, and what happened was it picked me up and then it threw me into an area where there was 3 trailer park tiles all next to each other, and as soon as they loaded, because the tornado was already over them, they instantly disintegrated into thousands of pieces, and the frame rate was literally less than 1 frame per second. So what I've done now is I've added some logic so that all these are optimized models right now, they're not broken apart into pieces. What I do is I keep track of how many bits of debris are in the air, and they'll also randomize each one. So when these get hit by a tornado, they'll wait a random amount of time. They'll then check and see, is there too much debris in the air? If there is, they'll then wait another random amount of time until some of the debris got cleared away, and then they'll break apart. So things will kind of break apart, kind of staggered, and there's a max amount of debris. It does improve things quite a lot, so I purposely made a really dense map with loads of trailer parks, and frame rate dropped to about 17 frames a second to 20 frames a second in the editor. In the actual game, that's maybe about 30 frames per second, which I think isn't too bad considering I was getting probably about 1 frame every 6 or 7 seconds beforehand, so I've optimized that as well. Another thing you'll notice is I was going to do a live stream last night actually. I then spent the better part of an hour trying to recreate the tone you hear. So talking of the drive-in theater tornado, you hear like a reoccurring beep from Dusty's computer, warning him that something's heading that way, presumably. And I couldn't use that source directly from Twister, that'd be copyright infringement. What I did do is run a fast Fourier transform on the on that audio clip, picked out the frequencies, which were there's about 1000, 1400 hertz, 2000, 4000, 4700, and I think maybe 6000 hertz with the 2000 hertz frequency. So it's almost like a chord with like 5 different frequencies in it, with 2000 hertz being the loudest ones and the other ones kind of getting progressively quieter the further you move from 2000 hertz. So I tried my best to recreate that. I kept prompting codecs and tried to script to generate those specific frequencies with different fall-offs. We're right under where we don't want to be. That's like instant death if that touches down. Maybe we should warn that town. So do a warn this town, but we're risking of being behind the tornado. I think we'll warn this town, and if we have time, warn these ones. Yeah, kept a lot of trial and error until I got the sound not identical, but close enough, and then realised it was quite annoying. So I've put the volume for that much lower. So while the tornado's hunting you, you'll hear like this recurring beep, 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 just to get your attention. Just it lets you know that you're currently being hunted. It helps if you want to play HUD free as well, because you know you're being hunted, and without having to actually enable the HUD. Okay, cool. You got some information about the laptop from the 2023 version. Yeah, it's in the credits. I don't name the wrong person, but yeah, the end of credits made a load of cool 3D models for the 2023 version. I do want to introduce some of them back into the 2025 rebuild as well. But they made the Silicon Graphics laptop, which was really just... Where am I going? Ah, right. I need to pay attention to where I'm going. Right, I need to head north. That's a mean-looking wall cloud. Look at that. That's the wall cloud's just going to reach out and touch the ground. We need to warn that town. Yeah. Yeah, so I think in reality they got like a screen, put like a fake plastic shell around it, and even and then put like a real screen in it. Then they'd have to run cables to the screen to actually render the graphics on a separate, I think it was Silicon Graphics, like computer, like physical, like workstation, that then rendered to the screen. Oh, it's starting to touch down already. I see it. Look, it's showing up on the map. Right. Oh, we're not doing a very good job of warning people. Hopefully it takes a little bit of a while to intensify. But yeah, me yammering on there, not paying attention to where I'm going, has probably cost some people their lives or some injuries. So let's try my best to get there as quickly as I can. Can't see anything yet though. Power slide. I'm trying to think, what else did I change? I think those are all the key ones. If I remember anything else, I'll mention it. Right, let's just off-road here. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Touch React is back on the vegetation, and it reacts to wind. You might have noticed that suddenly all the grass and like flowers and bushes and things were like static and not reacting to the wind or the truck anymore. What happened was, when I imported, so I designed the tiles in a separate project and then imported just what I need into the editor. And what I did was, when I designed that tile there that we're just driving on, the trailer park tile, I imported it and it came with the terrain textures and like the vegetation like data. And not thinking, I overwrote what I already had in the project, thinking, oh well, it's the same anyway, forgetting that I'd added all the wind and like touch react logic to it, so I had to restore that. Okay, 1 second, I just need to, I'm just going to pause the stream a second. Daughter's just knocking on the door. Okay, I'm back. Just Sammy's just feeling poorly. So I just set her up with. I got her a drink of water, and she's got like this kind of like this music player thing, which plays things to help you get to sleep. So sorted out with that. Okay, let's jump back into the game. So, Oliver Gonzalez, that's awesome. I love this movie. Yeah, so if you check out the map, if you're ever in Oklahoma or Iowa, you can visit some of the filming locations. Right, this one is taking a while to intensify. It's showing on the map, but I don't see a thing. So we need to see where it's heading towards and where I may need warned. Maybe these, it looks like it's starting to turn more north. So, this is a horrible way to get north. There's dirt road and 2 hills, but needs must. I don't think this is really in danger unless the tornado decides to hunt. Let's just take the time to warn this town as we go through, and then I'm just thinking this could. There's not really anything this way for a while, but it could make a wild left turn potentially and hit these towns. So we'll warn who we can. Oops. That's one thing I didn't fix. I need to make those collidable. Let's just warn this town while we've got. One thing I need to do as well, is use the scroll wheel both to zoom in and out of the truck and zoom the map in and out. I think what I need to set it to is shift and scroll for the map and then just regular scroll for the truck. Right, I wonder if it's going to be faster to off-road it. What we're going to do, let's get ahead of it. Let's head east to get ahead of it. Go up here and then we'll off-road. Do I have any money left for upgrades or not? Oh, I've got $10,000 on upgrades. Right. Max speed off-road, we'll upgrade that. Engine power and acceleration. Anything on the probe? Temperature data sampler. Oh yeah, I've upgraded that without actually unlocking temperature. That was a little bit of wasted money, but oh well. Okay. At least we've got a little bit of a faster speed off-road. I guess all these upgrades are kind of to make each chase a little bit less tedious, so you can focus more on the chasing aspect and less on the driving around aspect as you improve. Look, it's going F1. I don't see anything though. It's creating like a wind field, but I can see a tiny start of a noodle starting to come down. So let's get ahead of it, and we'll go for an intercept, maybe up here. Oh, is it turning north? That's the thing, the course is very unpredictable. I think we'll just turn left here, get onto here, and then we'll figure out where to go from there. It's just a wind field right now, it's invisible. That wall cloud is really cranking. Look at that. Right, so we'll go a little bit faster, so we can go, I think, about 30 miles an hour off-road now instead of 25. Which does make a difference when you go on this slow. Like, you can see the grass reacting to... If I turn the lights off, it might be a bit easier to see. To the truck. You can knock trees out of the ground, I think, if I remember. Oh, I've got to be careful, don't lose samples, but... I think I got hit with a certain amount of speed. Maybe I didn't enable it for trees. Maybe I didn't enable it. Anyway, let's keep heading north, because this is going to drop eventually and we want to be ahead of it. So you can see a slight shadow there. There's a slight funnel coming down, but it's very difficult to see. Luckily there's no towns in danger for quite a while, so we can try and get a few good intercepts up here. There's a fence in the way, let's just ram that over. Oh, we're starting to see, look, let's hop out the truck. Do you see that? Some dust getting kicked up there. It is developing, let's get much further ahead. This is horrible, like this side of the map is just disconnected from this side of the map. I could have gone all the way up here, but I still think it would be quicker to go off-road, because this takes us really far away from the tornado. It looks like it's heading more to the north and now. you watch the new one, Twisters from 2024? Yes, I just rewatched it the other day, actually. I think I got to see it the earliest it came out in the UK. There's one cinema in my area showing it at like 10 in the morning, where everywhere else had it scheduled for like, I think like either 2 p.m. or 5 p.m. So I was one of the first people in England to see it, which was pretty cool. It was actually the day of my graduation. So I had to like go into the city centre, watch the movie, travel back, like get changed into like a suit, shirt, tie, and then head back into the city centre almost exactly where I'd just been. But I was going to try and have this rebuild ready for when that movie came out, and that just wasn't going to happen. And I'm glad it didn't, because the other rebuild was the original 2023 project with a new map, whereas this time this is a completely blank project. And I think it's come out much better than it was before. So I played that the tornado when weak would sometimes only appear when at the ultra tornado settings. Yeah, I need to figure that out. The problem is, as you decrease the quality settings, we're about to drive through an invisible tornado here. Look, see the dust starting to get kicked up now. I don't know if it'll show up on the stream because it's quite subtle just now. Yeah, so it effectively gets more pixelated, so the narrower the tornado becomes and the larger the pixels, the less you actually see. I need to figure out some way around that, maybe increase the effective diameter of the tornado as the quality setting decreases. What I can probably do is just prompt Claude and it'll come up with some clever solution. Sorry, not Claude, I don't use Claude Code at home. Codex I use at home. Right, well, let's just try and set up for an intercept here. This is weird. I don't want a stream where we're just chasing, I was going to say tasting a tornado. That would be a unique experience. I guess it would taste like glass and pain. Chasing the tornado we can barely see, but we're starting to see it now. Maybe I should move out of here. We'll try and go for another intercept on the other side. You know, the 96 movie Independence Day with Will Smith. Oh yeah, I think part of the reason the release date there's so much pressure on the film is because they wanted to get it released before Independence Day. If I remember correctly, there's a lot of pressure. Yeah, I've only seen Independence Day once. I can't remember how old I was, somewhere between 12 and 14, I'd say. We'll get some power flashes there, it's not even fully condensed. Should probably rewatch it. Same with Dante's Peak. With, what's his name? Pierce Brosnan. Oh, I don't actually have the probe. Quick recall, quick deploy, and then let's do a U-turn and get out of here. Yeah, look, I think the dust's more visible now. Which I think really adds to the atmosphere of the game. I think it's such a small thing, it makes such a big difference to how the game feels while you're playing it. Hello, Real Smurf. Hope you're doing well. 2023 version, why the trailers have National Tornado Research Institute with available contract stream. Where was that in the 2020? Never able to find. Ah, okay, so that was one of the very, very first early releases. I watched some people play on a stream, and the idea of contracts I could see was causing a lot of confusion. So that's why I just replaced it with the gather data, then sell it on the market, and that became more intuitive for people. Yeah, so if you notice the, I guess the icon for the game is like a blue outline with a tornado saying NTRI. That stood for the fictional National Tornado Research Institute. I think at the time I was working for the TCRI, which was the Translational and Clinical Research Institute. So I just kind of took some creative liberties and changed some of the words to come with the NTRI. Maybe that'll make a reappearance, maybe I'll come up with some different concept. Okay, how are we doing on data? Got some F2 samples. Right, I think we've got the time to bridge the gap. Let's get the probe so we can go for another intercept. I think we've got time to bridge the gap off-road to there. So to bring back the probe battery. I don't know, did people like that? Or did it just get in the way of the gameplay? I added it to add an extra element to the gameplay, but I don't know if people appreciated that or not. Because at that point I made that change and then I kind of, yeah, don't go into too much detail, but around that time I started a medication and it did not work well at all for me, and I had like 3 or 4 months of what can only be described as hell. And you might have noticed around that time, like the updates and everything on the game just completely dropped off. It took a while for me to get developing again. So yeah, I'd created that battery probe, kind of fell off in terms of development, and I think there's another intercept opportunity here. And then never really, I think because of that, because of lack of regular updates, people stopped streaming, people stopped making videos about it, and I never really found out what people thought about the probe batteries. Am I in the right? Oh, I think I've overshot a bit. Now would be a really bad time for a hunt. Yeah, the vegetation's disappeared again. I do need to get a better vegetation rendering engine. It's just taking the gamble of buying one and potentially spend a lot of money for something which also doesn't work. At least this one I know works, just occasionally switches off. There may be one which doesn't. With this being multi-terrain tiles, it could be the case that it just doesn't work with it at all. Some only designed for like a single terrain. Let's collect pressure data this time around, then we can cycle back and get wind data after. I think we can turn the headlights off. The light's actually not too bad here. Oh, those cows are getting bounced around like toys. Poor cows. Oh, I'm getting a bit close. Let's drive off. Yeah, you see the dust getting kicked up there. Then, as I drive away and it starts to rain, you'll see like a slight, subtle, like white mist appear. Oh, seeing those sounds were in danger for a second there. Let's see point of view for probe camera. Uh-oh. Okay, we're getting hunted. Okay, let's make the most of this. Yep. So that's the best I can do, is to recreate the tone from the movie. From the original 1996 movie. Space Jam with Michael. Oh, okay. I do remember watching that. I can't remember anything about it. I think this is the opening scene where like he dives across the court. And I must have been 3 or 4 years old now. I'm 33 now, so we're talking 30 years ago. I think I remember he dives across the court at the last second. I think he does like a slam dunk from across the court or something like that. That's all I can remember. And then he ends up in like a cartoon world or something, doesn't he? Can you make it so that hunts are disabled by default? People. Yeah, so there's a slider. So the slider's enabled by default. I can change it to the other way around. I can't change it so it's disabled, then you can enable it just in case you click next without realizing. Okay, quick recall, quick deploy. What I could try and do is lure this tornado off the map so that a new one spawns, and we might get more of a wedge. Because right now we've got a bit of a stovepipe. Try and lure it off the map. How are we doing on data? Okay, we've got some F3 samples. I do need to switch it back over to wind. But that's going to be difficult because I'll have to stop and get out the truck. Yeah, also, yeah, it's just it was filmed all over the place. I think with the drive-through scene, that's set in Oklahoma. It then cuts to the scene with Melissa inside a hotel room or motel room, and that's actually, I think that's somewhere in Canada. Then she goes back outside again, then they're back in Oklahoma. Whoa, that's getting close, isn't it? Right. Let's head south. Quick call, quick deploy. Are the subvotes? Not officially yet. So the may show on the map view. I still haven't come up with like a clever formula to render subvote season 3D. They are coming. I'm kind of focused on the gameplay features right now, and then I'll go back to doing some more visual features. I do think I need to change the scale a bit. I think leveling up is a bit too easy. You like get one or two good warnings and you level up really quickly. I'm still getting good pressure data. Let's see what's it look like from the point of view of the probe. In F2 data, where's the tornado? It's there. There's just a bale of hay. Not too bad. Yeah, so wind effects, yeah, so I've added dust and mist, kind of like, if it's been raining, you'll have a slight white mist, and then you'll have kind of like this dirt brown mist, yeah, dust. There, it's just starting to kick in now. I don't know if the stream will show it because of the video compression, but if it gets a little bit stronger, if the wind speed picks up a bit more, you can see, I just think it adds a lot more to the gameplay. It really adds to the atmosphere. I also forgot I bought like 300 like high quality like weather sound effects. I still haven't added them to the game yet. Oh, looks like it's turning south. Well, maybe if we head south, let's do a quick recall. Are we still getting data or not? Not really. Do a quick recall. We'll maybe be able to intercept it down here. If not, we can go off road and try and intercept over there. And some sort of... Ah, yes, I have. So what I'm going to add actually to the game, so what I was trying to figure out is, do I create an entire new tutorial? Because it means I've then got to wire in a whole bunch of additional logic. So like for the tornadoes, I'll have to add like a tutorial mode to the tornadoes, so that instead of following a random path, they follow like a preset, fixed path of the tutorial. I need to add overlays. And from what I noticed with the streams anyway, even the other game had a tutorial, people would just jump straight into the game and then get a bit confused. They'd still figure it out, but it would cause some friction. So then I was thinking, what about a sort of like a prompt-based system? But so like if you're driving and you're near a tornado, it'll say like, you can go over here to deploy a probe and press this key and take these actions. But then you have to then have like a UI overlay, and then you have to have like the option to tick like, don't show this prompt again, and then you need a way of remembering which prompts have been dismissed and which ones haven't. And then you have to handle, okay, if somebody resets the game, do you reset the prompt? So I just thought, let's just add email. So email will be something down here, and I think that can introduce some sort of contract mechanic into it as well. So you have to collect a specific type of sample or deploy from a specific distance. So rather than just gathering data, you have to do something specific. Where's the road? Okay, this isn't good. Yeah, when you see water towers flying past you, you know you've positioned yourself wrong. But then, so I can use that both as like a prompt system. So when it gets to night time, once it detects the time's like 9 PM in the game, you can get an email saying press L to enable your lights. It can detect other things, and you just get an email, so then it's there, so you can go back and reference it. So you know you've got that email about how you do X, Y, or Z in the game. You can then reference it and remind it, but you don't have to worry about, you store the emails. But then it can also be, the storyline kind of gets released piece by piece as you go through the game. And some of my pseudoscience, science fiction ideas can of why tornadoes hunt people. Nice power flash there, can be added to the game. So yeah, I think emails can be the next major thing I add. I think now I'll go from 0.9 to 0.10. Not from 0.9 to 1 as you'd expect with decimals. How's the probe doing? Am I actually getting any data? F2 data. Oh, I forgot to switch the data type. People have asked to do that remotely, but I think there should be some pressure to do certain things manually. Oh, I should probably look as well. Are any towns in danger? This town's in danger. Oh, this is perfect. This is going right along the road. Okay, let's do quick recall. I think if we deploy off-road a bit, I do want to add a tile with a ditch as well that you can go off-road, like recreate the that scene from Twister. I do actually have some software which lets me choose a real-world location. It'll download all like the textures, look up where trees. Well, that's a bright power flash. Where all the trees, download the height map and things. It'll try and texture it automatically. So I could do that just for that one tile to add a realistic ditch tornado tile. Right. If we deploy here, and please don't hunt right now. We need to get to that town. I want to get back on the paved road because we can go a lot faster. I also want to introduce next, quite soon actually, like kind of like a freeway system. So that, I think for that your speed limit will be unlimited. So you, rather than having like an off-road, dirt road, and then paved road speed, for that one will just be unlimited. So however strong your engine is, you can go as fast as you want. And that'll take you diagonally across the map in some way or another. I could make it mandatory, but then it may put some people off playing the game altogether. I'm going to make the mist rotate around the tornado instead of going directly towards it. Not the way it's currently set up. What I'd probably have to do is add a separate particle system inside the tornado volume to add that. Get an F2 strength. Come on, can we get some F3? Can we get some F4? Oh, you see, we were like 1 mile an hour away from getting some F4 data there. Oh, I've gone too far. Right, let's go over the hill. We're not giving them much warning here, are we? Take this next left, go over the hill, and we'll warn the town. Am I still getting data? As long as I'm getting data. Yeah, still getting data, I'll keep it deployed. Yeah, America's got all the natural disasters, doesn't it? Earthquakes. I guess Hawaii has the volcanoes. Earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes. Here in England, the only thing we have is this almost continuous rain. And it gets quite windy in like the autumn, winter months. You know, I'm excited we're getting towards thunderstorm season here. So maybe we'll get some UK thunderstorm footage. Maybe use AI to turn it into fake tornado footage and add it into the game somehow. I'm just reading the chat. Have you ever thought about making a free demo? Yes. I'm trying to figure out how I'd limit it and how I'd do a custom build, because people are crafty, and I used to mod Unity games, so I've got to make sure that whatever I do, I don't give out a free game that people can easily just like patch 1 or 2 bits of logic in the code and then unlock the full version. It would have to literally be a completely separate project with a stripped down version. The problem there is then as I add features to the main game, it's going to be difficult to keep the demo in sync. So what I'll probably have to do is come up with some sort of compile time flags. Ooh, it looks like we could head south again. Get another intercept up on the hill there. Some sort of compile time flags, and then have like a because you can do like by default a release build and a debug build. That's like standard for any sort of IDE or build system. But I'll see if I can create a custom like demo one. I think what I was thinking of limiting is probably the upgrades. So maybe you can only get like the first 2 or 3 levels of upgrades, and then maybe have the game automatically close after like an hour or something like that, and you have to reopen it. I remember the Roller Coaster Tycoon demo, I think, used to be limited to about 30 minutes. I remember me and my friend taking turns playing the demo for 30 minutes, and then once it closed, like the other person then getting to be the person with the mouse. Oh, right, I think I've missed the opportunity again. Right, it's coming over this hill. We want to deploy. Oh, this is close. Oh, we've saved some lives. That's good. What we don't want to do is kill ourselves in the process. So I'm going to do quick deploy. Do I even have the probe? Quick recall, quick deploy. Right. Then I'm going to have to escape really quickly, really quickly, really quickly. Because I've put myself like directly in. I can't get back on the road. Going to have to off-road. I do need to get... Next time I go, I've found a really good road building asset, but I'm waiting for it to go on sale. Look, notice how the grass is getting a lot more excited in the wind now. That was close. What's it like from the probe? So where does here? The probe's just a few hundred yards. What's the probe experiencing? So 170 mile an hour winds here, there. Only 80 mile an hour winds here. Can we get us some F4? It's like just on the cusp of F4. Oh, I bet that these look like bits of mobile home. I bet that trailer park is disintegrated. And look, no, like I've even got the second camera, and I'm streaming live. I've got to be careful I don't get lifted here. Yeah, there's probably not much of that trailer park left. Got to watch out for these bits of debris that will cost us. Look how much more efficient it is now. So rather than slowing down and everything breaking at once, it kind of knows what its limit is. I think it's limited to 400 bits of debris in the air. We're getting power flashes. So we got both the cool visuals of it, but it didn't tank FPS. Like laptop was handling that no problem there, considering that I'm streaming at the same time as well. Really happy with that. Look how cool that looks. That just looks really cool. Right, is anybody? Oh no, we've got to warn them. But right, this is tricky because it's kind of cut us off. So another power flash. I don't think I'm going to make it past. Right, think. I could try and off-road. That's moving really fast. Right, rather than off-road, I'm going to wait till this intersection opens up. Oh look, it's turning north. I think we might be okay. I just have to wait till it clears this road, and then I'm going to have to floor it. What I may even have to do, let's analyze this data. Okay, $5,000. Upgrade the max speed on a paved road as well. Oh, unlock temperature data as well. Right, we can really get some good data now. How much cooler does that look? Then we've got VHS mode as well. I haven't been taking photos of it. Whoa. Oh, that cost us $32 in repairs, that. Right, we can warn that town. I think if we're lucky, might miss, but its wind field is quite wide. We need to warn this town, we need to warn that town. So if we run parallel here, hopefully we don't get lifted by the winds. Run parallel to the tornado. There's a dirt road coming up on the left. That's a bit risky. What I think we'll do is we'll go down. I don't think we need to warn this town. I think they're fine, but this one's close to getting hit. Unless it hunts, then I will have to warn that town. Right, so we're going to race it to that town. Maybe I'll take, just to be on the safe side, is it turning right again? Just to be on the safe side, I'll warn this town. I'll then double back and warn this town. We don't have much time and it can take a while to shelter. But I guess any warning's better than no warning. Right, so if we drive forward, we can drive back, and we need to get to this town as well. So I think we've switched from research mode now very much to rescue mode. Or at least warn mode. Oh, it's a shame. You do good content, so I'd definitely say keep at it with the content creation. It's getting it. Yeah, that's something I struggle with the game as well, is getting it in front of people. But like the quality of your videos, the narration, everything's great. So it's definitely not a quality issue. It's more just having people discover you is the tricky part. Yeah, but I appreciate you being willing to do the giveaway and for promoting the game. Always appreciate people's efforts, joining in streams, sharing ideas, and contributing to the game, just joining the community and generally being awesome. So thank you very much for that. Yeah, with it being tornado season, it's getting towards peak tornado season, isn't it, as well? That's why I did the sale. I think, at least historically speaking, I think most like historical tornadoes, you're talking end of April, early May. With, I guess, some early April tornadoes as well. And I think as it goes into June and July, I think the severe region moves further north, doesn't it? Okay, let's recall the probe, so we've got that. Yeah, it's heading to there and to there. I almost ended this chase because I didn't like the look of the tornado, but now it's looking pretty cool. Got a pretty cool stovepipe going there with a wall cloud that's spinning like a top. Yeah, this extra speed is making a big difference as well. Do you have any more data? No. Oh, it's getting close. I really feel like we missed out on an extra scene in Twister. I could always imagine when they're racing to save Aunt Meg, and there should have been like a nighttime scene where they're like tearing down the road, and then you can just see like the outline of the F4 being lit up by like lightning flashes as they're racing towards Wakita. And you kind of like hear the siren in the background kind of like get cut out as the as like the electricity gets taken out, as the power gets taken out. And you kind of maybe see another few flashes of like bits of debris in the air just silhouetted by lightning and power flashes. I think we're missing an extra scene there. I guess now we could always have AI add that, but I'm not a fan of AI slop videos. Even if it's not slop, even if it's like you script it well, just AI videos have this weird artificial softness or blurriness to them that I don't particularly like. You learn to spot it. Yeah, I think so. There's another game coming out called Funnel Runners, and honestly, it looks like a good game, quality game, but tornadoes aren't really the primary gameplay. It's more like a treasure hunt, and it just happens to be tornadoes. They posted on Reddit, get like hundreds of comments, hundreds of upvotes. I posted like the clip from the tornado hunts you, and got like 1 thumbs up and no comments. It's like marketing, timing, presentation is just not my strong suit. Actually, now that we're here, it's a shame, but it looks like this town's going to get hit dead on. Actually, it might get missed. It looks like the east side's going to get hit. Let's do a J-turn. Let's deploy a probe on the east side of the town, and then we'll... So I think we're going to have to eyeball it by looking at the actual tornado. Right, let's use the reticle. Let's zoom in there, actually use that house as the... We'll use that as the point of reference. I can't see much left to right motion. Is that about to go? Yeah, look. The roof's twitching. I should probably pay attention because I don't want to get trapped in the path. Right, we'll switch this back to wind data. Oh, that's 4 lives saved. That's good. And then we need to go warn the next town. Seven lives saved. That's good. What's our actual rescue score? 110 with 60% of our way to a PhD in saving lives. I heard thunder there. I thought it was the tornado starting a hunt. Right, let's warn this town. How are we doing on data? What we're getting? F2. Right, I think get the trailer park disintegrating there. Right, we need to give them a warning. Maybe I should track stats of like average warning time. I don't know what that would actually be useful for. Because you don't have much control over that. Just depending on how the tornado decides to move and change track and hunt or not hunt, it completely changes. You don't have much choice over how long the town has before it's warned. You more have choice over which towns get warned and in which order. But yeah, I think we'll deploy another probe here. Got this town as well. I think if we quickly go south and take that dirt road, we might be able to get another deployment done. Okay, so I think if we deploy here, we're like right in the center of the tornado. Let's change it to temperature data. And then we need to be heading... Which way? Yeah, we're gonna have to head north. Oh, this is cutting it close, isn't it? We're gonna have to warn that other town because that looks like it could get hit as well. Actually, is that... Yeah, let's just keep the probe where it is. So probe camera, what can it see? Looks like it's coming straight towards it. I don't want to go too far away though, I kind of want to see the trailer park get hit. Everybody's in the shelters, so we should get a lot of lives saved here. It's getting 70 miles an hour. Getting F1. Samples, I think it'd be cheaper to keep the data page up. Let's watch the destruction. Because everybody's sheltered, so we're not actually going to get any digital loss of life. Look, like it's not even stuttering at all. Like, no problems at all handling that debris. Right, we should probably warn this next town. Right, I'm going to do a quick recall. Right, please don't hunt. I think we're overdue for a hunt. And we'll get ready for another deploy. Oh, again, dust kicked up. That's a sign you're getting really close to the tornado. So I will catch up on the chat in a minute. I'm just trying to concentrate on not missing the key actions I need to take, which is mainly deploying the probe in a good spot. I think we're back up a little bit. Let's change the data type one more time. How are we doing on data? We've got wind, we've got temperature, we don't have any pressure data. That'll make a big difference. So collect pressure data. Let's deploy around here. And let's go. One the last town on the map. Oh, I think that's quite a good placement actually. Once we've won that town, we'll look at the probe camera. Oh, we can try and do both at once here. Where's the tornado? There it is. Right, let's look at the probe camera. F1 data. Is that it? I did try and place in the outer edge of the funnel. But the other end passes over it. Yeah, the winds will pick up again. F1. F2. I think it's going to peak at F3. Are we going to be looking at F4? No. That's very ominous, doesn't it? I think I need to take a stream screenshot, so bear with me 1 second. It'll pause for 1 second. There we go, got a screenshot. Power flash there, helpfully hidden by the trailer parks. So is everybody in the shelter yet? Not yet. Okay, and then after this goes off the map, I'm going to take a moment to have a drink. And then we'll... maybe we'll chase another day. Like, I'll go back to the main menu and we'll choose another day to chase. Nice. Okay, this will have some good multipliers added to it. I'm not getting any data anymore, so let's analyze this data. $6,000. Okay. Ooh, unlock dew point. You'll have to do that. Increase the sampling rate on that. Any truck upgrades? We can't really afford them just yet. Let's increase the radar image quality. Increase the sampling rate. There we go. So we'll watch as it ropes out. Try and keep it in frame. Right, let me just get a drink here. Yeah, sorry, I'll catch up on chat. Been enjoying the new career mode and looking forward to how the game continues to grow. It's currently in end condition for a chase day. It's been exited to the main menu, then use the skip. Yeah, there's not really an end condition. Give people the flexibility to just chase as long as they choose to. I think the day-night cycle is about an hour. Yeah, thank you, I appreciate that, Neon. Yeah, there's definitely no pressure to promote the game. Like, yeah, I think that's the best way. If you enjoy playing the game and enjoy streaming it, then I always appreciate any eyes on the game. But yeah, I definitely don't feel any pressure that you got to hit target numbers or anything. I'm definitely not your boss, and I'm just really grateful for the time that you've put into showing the game. So yeah, that's the best way to do it. Enjoy the game. Word of mouth is probably the strongest way that people discover new things. Like, not the most popular, but it's like if you hear if a friend recommends a game to you, it carries a lot more weight than just happen to see catch a few seconds of a trailer while you're scrolling on social media, or seeing it go by in your YouTube feed as you scroll and trying to decide what to watch. But if they do tune into the stream and the frequent viewers of yours, it carries more weight when you recommend it. So yeah, that's the best way. Just enjoy it, stream it when you stream it. Enjoy it in whatever way you like. Yeah, so the whole point of the game is to try and make it as customizable as possible. So yeah, that's the first run through. Tornado, like usual, took a bizarre path. We couldn't even see it. It was pretty much invisible till it got to about here. So let's go back to the main menu, and we'll continue our career. Oh, we must have earned a skip at some point as well. So let's see, 2,000 to 3,000. That's very similar to what we just had. I think we'll skip. Oh, that's a lot of shear. Let me just quickly calculate that. 481 times by 3199 over 160,000. No, not subtract. 481. The numpad on my laptop's very squashed together. Again, EHI upper range is 9. What's the lower range? 1717 times by 40. This is kind of making me think that I should probably add the EHI calculated on there. Divided by 160,000. 4.6. That's actually a similar top end to the previous chase, but a much higher lower end. It's like double. So yeah, I think let's go for another chase. Okay, we've started in the middle of a cornfield. I just remember I just saw on TikTok like a clip from a movie I think it's called like The Grass or something like that, or The Tall Grass, where like time does like weird stuff while you're walking the grass, and all this like mysterious stuff starts happening and people disappearing, and like they're standing like the same distance from each other, like they jump up and they can see each other, and they say 1, 2, 3 and they jump again, and they're both in completely different places, even though neither of them have moved. Maybe I can borrow some horror elements from that. Right, let's get onto the proper road network. I don't have to go all the way around here to get up here. We'll put velocity on. Oh, it looks like it's going to spawn really far away. Oh, we've got a cornfield wall. I realise the reason it does this is because I haven't got a tile with corn on just one corner. I've only got corn where it's either a full tile of corn or half corn on one side of the road and half just normal on the other. So the only way I can fill it in is by having like this continuous wall. So we might have to do the Bill Paxton maneuver through the corn at some point when we get to that wall. Actually, I think north gives us a bit of an easier route over there. Oh wait. Right, no, let's go down this way and along there, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But it's about to spawn right on top of a town and not give us any chance to warn them. At least on career mode, the tornado spawn time is a lot slower. So there is a chance it'll move away before it even hits, and it gives us a bit more travel time. So let me go into first person view here, zoom the map in a bit. We can see the wall cloud starting to develop there. It's barely rotating this one. Well, short-term plans for the game. So let's think. I think I mentioned a couple of them earlier. I think email. I think I want to add that one pretty soon. Let's think. Maybe that sort of fake sort of hill in the distance sort of logic might add in soon as well. I'm trying to think what things. I need to finally add that latch to the tailgate. It's a small thing, but it's like one of those small annoying things which is appreciated once it's done, but it's a bit of a faff to implement in the first place. But I'll be glad I did it once it's done. Yeah, short term. Like I'm talking like immediately in the next couple of weeks. I think the email thing might not is in the next few weeks, but probably not this week. Yeah, I would think what's on my to-do list. Maybe I need to create a town with houses. The only problem there is I need to spend a lot of time manually fracturing models and creating prefabs. Let's think. Oh, somebody did give me an updated color palette for the velocity radar. I'll probably do that this week, because that's easy enough to fix. This one spawned miles from us. And it's putting a funnel down already. This is going to be a good chase. We've got to catch it in time. Oh, I thought it was going to go off the map, but we've actually got quite a bit of map. Right, we'll come down here, we'll get ahead of it, and then try and cut there. Also, I just purchased, it was a really good offer actually. It usually would be about $50. I got it something like 98% off or something. It was $2 for sort of like smashed apart building prefabs. So like literally buildings which look like they've been hit by tornadoes. I got it for $2 instead of $50. It was like a flash sale or fire sale on the asset store. So I've got that. I probably will add in some of those high quality wind effects as well. Oh, and yeah, raindrops on the windscreen. I want to do that pretty soon as well, maybe this week. See, I've got lots of ideas. It's hard to say exactly what, because I'll say a lot of ideas on the stream, but then each night when I sit down to work on the game, what I actually end up working on really depends on the mood I'm in and how much energy I've got at the time. It's just kind of hit and miss of what the plan is versus what I actually end up doing. Oh, that's a nice tornado. Come on, we've got to catch up with that. I've got a stovepipe there. And looks like it's gonna hit possibly this town here. Yeah. I just don't know how we're gonna get there in time. Let's put our foot to the floor and just keep going. I think the best thing we do is stay in a straight line till we get to here. Best thing we can do right now. Yeah, it's heading straight for them. The server's been super active recently, lots of really enthusiastic people. Yeah, I've noticed that. It's been... do I still update the Trello? I did on the last stream, actually. I do need to do a better job of keeping that up to date. Yeah, my organisational skills need some work. Yeah, I've noticed that people, John, being enthusiastic. Like, it's nice to see the Discord server active again. I think there's like over 1,000 members, but it's like the same. It's nice. It's the same tight-knit group who tend to chat, which is good. It's good to have the small group who like know each other and chat frequently. But it's good to see like the server starting to get active again, more like it was when first released the first version of the game. I had a dream actually. It was after I streamed the game on Steam. I had a dream a couple of nights later that somebody else was streaming on the Steam page, and they had 50,000 live viewers. I was like, oh wow! And then I went to the Discord and I had like 300 people join the server in the space of like a few minutes. And then I woke up and realized it was all a dream. But I have been known to have some random dreams which have been weirdly predictive of like the most mundane things. And that was obviously not a mundane thing, but I have dreamt of just like random things which happen, like bumping into a random person who I haven't seen in ages, and then I'll see them like 2 days later. I've had stuff like that happen before. So yeah, who knows? Maybe that'll happen. Then again, I did have a dream once that I was working on this app. It was like a geolocation app where you get chased by a snail constantly, like literally a snail's pace, but it would be moving constantly towards you day or night. And I had a dream somebody wanted to buy that off us for $160 million. That never happened. I think if I had $160 million worth of resources, how much better I could make this game. I could focus on like the ideas and like the feedback and play testing and getting the game really good, and have other people to do like the visual effects, gameplay mechanics, the coding, get things done a lot faster and to a lot higher degree. But never know. This game, I try to make it a feedback loop, so money I get from the game I do try and feedback in terms of assets, and yeah, mainly the assets from the asset store, because they are quite pricey, especially the one I use for fracturing, that's the word. Fracturing the models into pieces. I think that one was like, I think it's like £120 UK price, so I don't know what that works out to in dollars at the time. Yeah, that'd be cool. Like, it could literally become the game of my dreams. I remember once just having a dream about a very specific type of tornado, and it was like surrounded by like a really thin veil of dust. And like ever since that dream, and that was back when I was working on the 2023 version, I've been trying to create it. I think this is probably about as close as I've managed to get it. But in my dream, it was almost photorealistic, which I think just isn't really an option right now with current consumer hardware. But I think the swirling dust around the tornado is really what adds to it. But yeah, these tornadoes I feel look so much better than the original ones. But then again, this whole asset was built by an entire team of people, of like GPU programmers and special effects people, whereas the other tornado I had to piece together with watching YouTube tutorials on how to make volumetric shaders, asking stuff on Stack Overflow, looking at other people's example code. The other one was completely me. Like manually coding it wasn't my technique. Volumetric rendering's been out for decades, but I had to manually code all of that. Whereas this one's being made by people who really know what they're doing to a much higher degree than I did at the time. Yeah, multiplayer. Yeah, I think multiplayer really helped grow the game as well. I think one thing that puts people off playing is the fact that you can't play with other people or play with friends. So it makes it hard if you want to do a stream with friends. You can't really stream this game with friends because you'd all be playing different scenarios. Yeah, so this one's been much more difficult to catch up on. How's my rating? Oh, I just hit PhD, but we get like 1 or 2 deaths and we're back down below that. So the next rank is postdoc. I should make it like real life, and once you get to postdoc, no matter what you do, you can never make it to the next level. I'm just looking at the time. I will have to end this stream pretty soon. I'll go until 1/4 past the hour, and then I'll have to wrap the stream. Let's see if we can just catch up with this tornado and actually get some intercepts, because it's getting quite big. It's 1/3 of a mile wide now, heading straight towards that town, and we are just struggling going through this cornfield, hoping we'll get there in time. I was going to say, if we're lucky, it'll turn south, which just means it'll hit that town instead of that town. We need to get back on a paved road. ASAP. ASAP is possible, as Michael Scott would say. Or is it ASAP as possible? Yeah. Cheers, Neon. Yeah, I'll be streaming for another 15 minutes, but if you've got to go, enjoy your, I guess, afternoon, evening, whatever time it happens to be. I'm not sure what your exact time offset is. Oh, cool power flash there. But yeah, I'll be streaming for the next 15 minutes or so. Well, that one's getting strong as well. 0.4 of a mile wide, probably going to be half a mile wide, but it's going to hit this town head on. We've got no chance of warning them in time. That tornado's looking really cool. Yeah, we'll chase this till either till it goes off the map or 1/4 past, whichever happens first. I would say vegetation's not one to load on this tile for some reason. How much more barren does it look just without having... There we go, vegetation's back. I don't know what causes that. Oh, it looks like it's changing path. Oh no, our rating here is going to get absolutely obliterated. Look at our progress going backwards. Even at 83 miles an hour, 84. One thing that really wants me to add the rain effect as well, as I was just driving around yesterday and we were having torrential rain here in Newcastle, and it just adds this extra element of challenge to driving when you can't see properly. Let's see how it handles it when that tile loads, when I get close to it. So once I get close enough, that trailer park tile will load, and then we'll see a load of debris. There we go, can we see? Right, there's no point really trying to warn it now. I think we've already had all the penalties that we're going to get. How much more cinematic does that look? I guess it could literally be 90s tornado footage. Right, it's going to cross the road in front of us. There's not a whole lot we can really do right now. I need to stay out of the stronger winds. It's really pulling at the truck. Look, the truck's like sliding on the road. Let's turn the hood off. I think this is perfect time for stream thumbnail. Look at that. How cool does that look? Let's hop out. Get some photos. That blade just broke off. I think we can get a bit closer. I think we might have even got some data there. Just some F1 samples though. Yeah, it's just under half a mile wide, moving at 30 miles an hour. So yeah, quite a dangerous one. Oh look, we're getting some just about F5 wind speeds going through there. Look at those ninja stars. There's 3 of them. It's like a missing scene from Twister. Not missing scene, what's called deleted scene. Alright, let's try and stay on the road to keep our speed up. Look at that monster. I don't know, is there any point warning this town? We might as well. I don't think it's going to hit this town though. Let's run to the siren and sound it. Let's see if we can get at least one intercept in before it goes off the map. I don't think we're going to get a chance to be honest. To be completely honest. Let's at least drive up this hill and we'll get a good view of the tornado as it passes by in front of us. These are definitely not the types of roads you want to be on, a winding dirt road at height when you've got the wind and rain whipping at you while the tornado approaches. Let's try and get as close as we can for a good view of the tornado as it passes by. Okay, I think I don't want to go much closer than here. And 90, you wouldn't even be standing at this. It's 90 mile an hour winds, you're not going to be standing. Power flash. We've also got hail falling as well, so that would be getting pelted at you at whatever terminal velocity of a hailstone is, plus 90 mile an hour. Just realised I've stepped off the road and now can't get back on because there's a little ledge there. Really need to add jump to the player controller. Power flashes again. And zoom right in and see some of that motion in the funnel as well. Look, we had a slight subvortice there, and then it's kind of weakened. Another one there, like cycloidal mark. Okay, well, I think I will call it a night. Thank everybody for joining. As always, I was enjoying the interaction and chatting and discussing ideas and future plans for the game. Yeah, I'll try and go live again soon. I'm not sure if I'll push the update tonight or not. I do need to be getting things ready for work tomorrow. So yeah, I'll be signing out now. I'll see you all on the next stream.